Welcome to DSEJ home classes. Namaskar, my dear students. Once again, we are on this platform where an attempt to connect learner with the instructor, a digital initiative by Directorate of School Education is there, and I am here with the chapter Transport in the Plants, and in the topic Transport in the Plants, in continuation to our previous topic where we discussed the diffusion and the various physical modes of transport of the water, we shall now be talking about the various membranes and the various membranes through which the transport of the various material takes place in the plants. We must know that in the nature there are three types of the membranes: the permeable membrane, the semi-permeable membrane, and the non-permeable membrane. In the living systems, we are concerned with the semi-permeable membrane, but for the better understanding of the type of the membrane that we are having in case of living system, we must know what is permeable membrane. Permeable means permitting. When a particular membrane allows the passage of most of the materials through it, that is, it allows most of the materials which pass through it, this is called as the permeable membrane. On the other hand, the membrane, semi-permeable membrane, that is the membrane with which we are concerned in the present chapter, that is the semi-permeable membrane. And this is the membrane which allows only specific materials to pass through it. That is, it does not allow everything and does not control everything from not flowing. It allows certain things to pass through it and does not allow everything to pass through it. So it is specific in its permeability. Whereas the non-permeable membrane, which does not allow anything to pass through it, it has no passage of the flow, that is called as the non-permeable membrane. As I told you earlier, in the living systems we have semi-permeable membrane, and in continuation to the semi-permeable membrane we have another method of the transport which is very common and very popular in the living systems, and that is the osmosis. Osmosis is the net diffusion of water molecules. Here we are presuming that water is the universal solvent, and so osmosis is the net diffusion of the water molecules from a dilute solution to the concentrated solution, provided the two solutions are separated by a semi-permeable membrane. As I have already told you that the term solution refers to the mixture of more than two components or the two components where the major component is called the solvent and water is considered to be the universal solvent, and the material which we take in smaller quantity is called as the solute. In that context, osmosis is a special type of diffusion of the solvent. I mean to say solvent moves. The solvent molecules moves from the higher concentration of the solution to the lower, separated by the semi-permeable membrane, and osmosis occurs in the liquid medium and only the solvent molecule moves. As you can see in the figure, the green color molecules being bigger are representing the solute, are not able to pass through the pores provided in the membrane, and hence the solvent molecule moves till the concentration on the two sides becomes equal. Now, depending upon whether the diffusion of the solvent molecule is occurring towards inside or outside, that is direction of the osmosis, we have two types of osmosis: endosmosis and exosmosis. Endosmosis is the process of diffusion of water molecule into the cell from the outside, that is called as endosmosis. En is the first two letters that stands for entry, that is the water moves from outside to the inside. It occurs when the cell is placed in the hypotonic solution. What is hypotonic solution? I will just now tell you. Then what is exosmosis? The first two letters of exosmosis are EX, which stands for exit, which means the diffusion of the water from inside to the outside of the cells takes place, and it occurs when the cell is placed in the hypertonic solution. Now, for a better understanding what is this hypertonic and hypotonic solution, I will take your attention to this slide that there are three types of osmotic solutions: the hypertonic solution, the hypotonic solution, and the isotonic solution, depending upon the concentration of the solute molecules on the two sides of the semi-permeable membrane. In the hypertonic solution, when there is more water inside the cell, water will move out of the cell in order to dilute the higher substance. As a result, the cell will shrink in its size. Hypotonic solution, when there is more water outside the cell, that is outside the semi-permeable membrane, and correspondingly water will move inside the cell in order to dilute the higher concentration inside the cell, and correspondingly the cell will swell or expand in its size. Then apart from these two solutions, we have another type of solution, that is isotonic solution. Isotonic solution is such type of solution when the concentration of the solvent and the solute across the semi-permeable membrane on the two sides is equal, and cell membrane at this point is called at an equilibrium, and no movement of the solvent takes place, and hence no osmosis in the isotonic solution. Now here you can see in this figure, I have given here the diagram of an animal cell as well as the plant cell. You can see when the cell is placed in the hypertonic solution, the protoplasm shrinks and such a cell becomes shriveled and is called as the plasmolysed cell. In the isotonic solution, the cell remains normal and the cell is called as the flaccid. Whereas in the hypotonic solution, the cells become turgid, swollen up, and in case the extra water enters in hypotonic solution, it may become lysed, it may become breasted. Now these are the diagrams of three solutions. Now another term which we must know in order to understand the process of osmosis very clearly is the plasmolysis and the deplasmolysis. It's very well clear from this diagram that plasmolysis is the result of movement of the water particles out of the cell and shrinking of the cell membrane away from the cell wall when placed in the hypertonic solution, because in the hypertonic solution water moves out of the cell. Whereas deplasmolysis is the entry of the cell into the plasmolysed cell, bringing back the cell membrane and other organelles to the normal condition. What I mean to say is that when the plasmolysed cell is again placed in the hypotonic solution, the water goes on entering and the plasmolysed cell becomes deplasmolysed, and such a process of re-swelling of the plasmolysed cell is called as deplasmolysis. So this is all about the plasmolysis. Thank you, my dear students. That's all for today. Stay safe, stay healthy.